We've got some.
Hey, I'm Luis.
And I'm Luis.
And you're listening to the Content is Profit podcast.
We spent the last 4 years learning the strategies and techniques from some of the top marketers in the world on how to create content that turns into profit. And today, we're bringing them to you so you can take action immediately and start creating real content momentum.
If you'd like to learn more about how to turn your content into profit, go to contentisprofit.com. Oh, yeah.
I want to lead with a little story on sales, right? And I'm going to tell you one of my first experiences selling something, and that was a $15 membership to Happy Feet. What is Happy Feet? It was a soccer program from 2 to 6 year olds, and we had to sell the parents like, hey, we would go to the aftercare and we would tell them, we are going to pretty much turn your kid into Lionel Messi, the best player in history, right? Of course, that was not the program.
Best team in the world. But I can just literally see the people watching this video right now, and they're like, man, yeah, I've seen those kids trying to sell me the programs like in my daycare. Yes or no? Put it in the comments.
So this is how we should... This is how it was, right? We would go to the daycares and we would have to stand literally by the door when all the parents were coming in to pick up their kids. And as they were walking out, we would have to be like, hey, excuse me, are you interested in putting your kid in the program? We're going to teach him how to play soccer. We're going to teach him through story time. Clearly, you can tell I don't even remember the pitch, right? I wasn't even that invested in what we were selling at the moment. I think, don't get me wrong, I think it's an awesome service. I think the kids actually take really good things out of it. And us, the coaches, we definitely learned a lot. Patience.
I think I didn't want more kids in my classes. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Subconsciously. The business side, yes, absolutely. More kids. The subconscious was like, no, Luis, please do not add the 10th kid because for 30 minutes, they're going to give you hell.
Yeah, exactly. So when you were selling, you were like, do I really want this kid in my class or no? I don't know. Yeah. But the point is we felt like we were trying to convince these people, right? We didn't know about sales. Our only reference to sales was pretty much when we went to buy our cars and if you have bought a car before, you know how that experience goes. They jump all over you and they're like, what about this car and this one? And they try to make you sign right there. I think my brother once, they even put like a contract in a napkin and they're like, yeah, sign here and we can move forward. It's like, so super sketchy, right? We felt very sketchy selling some of those memberships and they were like $15. Like, I think the highest one was like $30
a month.
And it was scary. I would get sweaty the time where I would have to drop the price. I was struggling. My voice was shaky and all that stuff. And fast forward and we started selling $500 a month services, right? So, and fast forward even more, and now we're selling like my brother said in that episode, a 4-digit offer, right? So what is that difference there? How can you go from selling, $15, $30 memberships to 4 digits offers?
Hey, full disclosure, we love you guys, everybody. Full disclosure, the product that we sell, it ranges depending on, what type of market, what type of company, what type of services, it falls in there, but it goes from $2,000 to $4,000 per month, right? So how do you go from going scary, sweaty armpits like FONZI here, $15 memberships to that kind of product, right? And it did take time. It did take a bunch of stuff, publishing, learning, investing, right, and coaching.
Absolutely.
And there's other stuff as well.
But, one of the key factors was definitely, believing and having clarity in what we were selling, right? When we went to the $500 a month that we were selling to the restaurants, we didn't believe as much, that we could deliver. So it was also the convincing game. We were stuck in that convincing game.
Absolutely.
But once we actually did what we offer now as a service, right? And we're offering to people, we have seen the results. We have, 100% certainty that it works and that we can help people move forward. Now it doesn't feel like selling, right? Selling is more like helping others.
I want to add to that. We've seen it work. not only whoa, yo, we got all the comments like at once.
All the comments just came out at once. That's awesome.
Hashtag Luis voice crack. Yes, that happened like 10 minutes ago. Thank you, Jim.
Yes.
Jen Crown and Coke. There we go. Barca. Oh man, thank you so much for all the live comments. I appreciate the engagement.
The internet is lacking today.
And honestly, like along the way, like if you want to drop the questions right there, we can make this super interactive today.
Yeah.
But you know, when we say we've seen it work, it's not only with the clients, right? It's with us, because we literally practice what we preach to be at the forefront of the process. Be like, hey, can we what's the perspective around content? Can we test things out, right? And then from that, we can actually do it. So this morning I was in a conversation with somebody that might or might not be working with us. We'll see.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. We'll let you guys know. But we were going through it, and this person was where we were probably like 6-7 months ago, right? And we could have a really good, honest conversation because we were there. We walked through that path, and yes, at some point we'll probably do some business together, but the intention was not to sell or convince this person, was to like help them through those problems, right? So if the sale happens, then there's a shortcut to that problem, that solution, to that person is looking for. And I remember, like, we're so passionate about this and what we do and how we do it because we were actually doing it. We were those guys that for the last 4 years were trying to create a piece of content, and FONZI was like next to the pool taking pictures, like content life, you know, here it is, dream life, laptop life, and then nothing happened. And then it wasn't until we started with this thing that we do now that we can speak properly and making sure that we reach those that fall.
Absolutely. But guys, you know, we don't want to stretch too much today because we said this one was going to be a quick one, and we want to deliver the goodies. We want to give you guys the hashtag golden boulders. That's right. So guys, you know, as I said pre-episode, we are at a stage in our business where we're looking to implement sales processes, right? We want to have sales processes in our business so we can grow and we can bring in new clients and we can help more people succeed. So, of course, I went to the one episode where we talk all about sales at the Content is Profit podcast, which was, we believe, is episode 83, but it is the episode with the one and only Sean Malone. And oh, wow. I re-listened to that and I was like, my mind was in flames.
Well,
I was like,
tell me what you've been
happening?
talking about 20 minutes about how your mind is inflamed. So tell us.
Yes.
Spill the beans or spin the boulders.
First, I want to clarify a few points that Sean shared in that podcast, right? Because I do believe this. He said, most entrepreneurs do not have a conversion problem. So we ask your questions, why? Why don't have a conversion problem? Well, you know what? Like, we are very passionate behind what we do. And if we have the opportunity to talk to the right person, we will usually make that sale, right? So the conversion is not the problem. The problem is putting quality opportunities in our calendar, right? Ooh. And remember that. The problem is not the closing, not the conversion that much, right? Some people, yes, I'm sure they do have that problem. But the main problem that he found out by talking to the market, again, be a student of the market, he said is putting quality opportunities in your calendar. So if that is one of your problems right now in your business, let us know in the comments. Put hashtag quality opportunities in my calendar. That's a long hashtag.
Wow, that's a very long site. Hashtag quality opportunities. I want to make a sale. Hashtag whatever.
So okay, like, do we agree? First of all, do we agree with that problem?
I think I do, and I think publishing has allowed us to create those quality conversations because we're very specific to the person that we talk to. That came with time. Like, I remember it's like, hey, when we first started, we're like, hey, who are we gonna call? Who are we gonna prospect? Like, what are the lists that we're actually gonna tackle? Should we hire a VA to handle all that? And there's a lot of very successful people that do it. But at first, it was just the two of us. So we're like, okay, you know, the more we do that, there's time and resources that we allocate towards that side of the process that we don't even know if there's gonna be a quality conversation, right? Mm-hmm. So how can we start like filtering people to have those quality conversations? The second, we started to do it through publishing and engaging in groups where we thought at first that our dream client was there by certain following like a checklist of things that we're like, okay, if that person checks that box, yes, checks that box, yes, checks that box, sweet. let's send them a calendar invite. By filtering not only through the message but through that list, we were able to get that quality conversation, and it really became I'm gonna help you, and then it's like, how can we work together? Really?
Yes, and with that in mind, I want you guys to keep that in mind, because I'm gonna share a statement here in a moment that Sean told us that absolutely blew my brains out. I mean, it was absolutely insane. But I want to share another thing. It says, everybody knows prospecting is the solution, but nobody likes to do it because it sucks and it is hard work. But on the upside, it is a low skill activity that you can systemize and then outsource, right? And look, I know there are people out there that just say, like, just put your content out there and people will magically flow into your content. And it, in all honesty, is not like that, right? It is not, you're just not gonna put content out there and people are gonna flow to you. Sometimes you need to do prospecting, especially if you want to move at a certain speed in your business. Is part of the sales process. Prospecting, right? Getting those quality leads in front of you and starting those conversations. Now, where content comes is the safety net effect that we've talked about, right?
Well, there's plenty layers, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of layers, but that is one if you're doing prospecting, right? Because imagine you reach out to someone that they are not very aware, they might not be aware of you, right? And as soon as you reach out, what is the first thing that you do when someone reaches out to you?
Me?
Yeah, what do you do?
Are you asking me?
Well, I was asking the audience, but I'm not gonna wait here like Dora. So,
I go research them. I go to Google and be like, okay, or social media or Facebook. Like we work on social, so I'll go to Facebook. I'll go to Instagram. See what's up.
You click on the little profile picture, see what they're about, right? And guess what? If you have no content, that credibility factor goes down to the ground immediately, right?
And we shared that story not only like on the prospecting side, but we shared it on literally an actual meeting that they pull up our social media in front of us, and they're like, "Where are you guys?" And we're like, "Ugh," and we're selling content, right? And they're like, yeah, thank you. Like it sounds wonderful, but no business." And we're like, man, okay, that was like the thing that triggered, not only a safety net effect, but we're like, we gotta be out there frequently, consistently.
Absolutely, because again. Now let's put prospecting a little bit on a side, right? You are putting a flow of content consistently, right? You're building, remember, consistency creates art, right? Which is authority, relevance, and
trust.
Yeah.
I got it.
What is it?
I don't. Yeah, you got it right. You got it.
Let's go.
We're switching. Okay.
So remember, guys.
Why do you stop the applause, man? Like, shut up. It's like, yay, shut up, guys. Okay.
Consistency
shut up, guys.
creates art, authority, relevancy, and trust.
Yeah.
So it is important that we are consistently putting content out there. So then when the prospects come in, they're like, wow, these guys, they know what they're talking about, right? They can back up all these promises, right? Although it should be one promise, the one that you should be delivering. They back up the one promise they say they can accomplish for you, right? Yeah. The one problem they can solve, look at that. They're always consistently talking about that.
Yeah. So I also want to like make a twist a little bit here and talk about how you can make prospecting fun.
No.
Okay.
No fun in this podcast.
No fun in this. But how can you make prospecting fun? Because we were like, dude, we're not gonna sit here and call like 300 people to get 400 no's, right? Like it's like because they say no twice sometimes. And then we're like, okay, how can we tie down content? And this conversation we had this morning, and it's a different perspective on content. It's like through a podcast, for example, you can sit down and literally reach out to your dream person. Not only client, but like the person that you want to develop a relationship with, right? The person that you want to learn with. And that's a different kind of prospecting. And I think it's like, that falls like high, right? So why don't you mix both of them?
I think you're mistaking prospecting by outreach.
No, prospecting, you do it first and then you do the outreach.
Yeah. You're talking about outreach.
No, you're doing the prospecting first. Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's settle this with the audience.
With a battle.
With a battle. But all I'm saying is like we started like taking that outreach, that perspective, that point of view, right? But like, okay, who are the people that we can establish conversations with?
Yeah.
That could potentially be a business relationship as well.
And a friend.
Somehow.
Someone that
first
we
of
can,
the friend.
someone that we
That we
can
wanna-
go to the bar
Like
and
Gavin,
have a beer.
like Gavin Bell
Like
told
Gavin
us
Bell's-
in that
yeah.
episode as well. But also, content allows you as a vehicle to create a platform that you can do that, right? Without the content or without a platform is really, really challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, tips, try to make it fun. It's good. But I want to remember this last part right here that Sean shared, which is it's a low skill activity that you can systemize and outsource, is key, right? Because sometimes we, and I'm guilty of this, very guilty, we feel the need to do everything ourselves. But this is something that you can literally do like for a week and write down the whole process and then hire a VA. Shout out Nathan Hirsch. And you can give that to the VA and they can do the outreach, they can do the prospecting for you. And then all you got to do is the outreach. And I'm going to give you Sean's tip towards the end of this show. So stay tuned. But the next thing I wanted to share is that if you produce content, right? If you are consistently publishing and putting things out there, you know what happens?
Tell me
What
a
we
secret.
call the frictionless sale,
Oh, baby.
right? Which is
Smooth
amazing
operator.
because Sean at the same time, he's like, hey, you don't have to sell people, right? And that kind of clicked for us. Because look, and that has happened to us a lot of times, that we, by being present, right? By being consistent and creating that art, remember, authority, relevance, and trust, people come to us and they're like, hey guys, how can I be a part of what you guys are doing? Literally. And we're like, this is so cool. Let's go. Because now we know that is a person that they want the solution that we're offering, right? They are literally raising their hands and saying, hey, I have this one problem that you can solve and I need your help to solve it. And the conversation becomes so easy after that, right? And I'm going to quote Sean here exactly. He said, you can just shine a light into people's pathways to show people where they need to go to take their business to the next level, right? And that goes, again, hand in hand, content and sales. When you're in a sales call, your job is not to convince the other person that they need to work with you, right? If you're doing that, I'm going to do this.
Revisit your process.
Yes, I think you're doing it wrong if you're trying to convince the other person, right? Like he said here, you need to shine a light into people's pathways. You need to show them the way. It's like, hey, you know what? Like, I know you have this problem, and through my solution, I know we can get you to the next level. And guess what? That is the message that you're sharing in your content as well. Through your content, you're telling them, hey, I know the road might be a little dark, but in here we have a little light that we can shine and teach you the right way. Because we have done it as well, right? We had the same problem. Now we have the solution. And through our content and our message, we are showing you the way. And guess what? That turns into a frictionless sale.
Absolutely.
Because then when you hop on that call, they already know exactly where you want to take them, right? They already know how you're going to take them that way. And all that's left is for you guys to say, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's work something out.
Yeah. So another one, and I highlighted this, the salesman should only be the guide in that journey. They should never be the hero. Wow. That's
you're a big fan of this episode. You're a big fan.
I mean, I love that quote. The salesman should only be the guide in that journey. They should never be the hero. And I feel too many people try to be the hero. And again, by talking not only sales, right, in a sales call, I think in the content as well, people tried to be the hero all the time.
Yeah, I think, for us, a big one was let's enjoy the journey, right? Like, every time we have a conversation on, what are the different types of content that you can create, or how are the different strategies that you guys have tried. We literally tried every single content calendar out there, not only for us, but for our clients like 2-3 years ago. We've done probably every single course out there. We've modeled, we've followed, like everything, right? And a bunch of stuff added a ton of friction, and we didn't have a lot of fun doing it. And
we were the shiny object chasers.
That too. And it was like, man, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna brainstorm for 3 days, and we're gonna put all these ideas and do the research. And yeah, at some point that will probably be part of the strategy, right? But to get us started, it wasn't there. So we're like, okay, let's enjoy the journey, right? Let's not be the heroes. It's just like, go try things out. What works for us? How can we be consistent? After the consistency, let's go, how can we be frequent? Because with consistency, results come. And that was the conversation I was having this morning. The guy's like, okay, so with your Facebook lives, for example, what are your KPIs? What are you measuring? Like, how do you relate the sales? I'm like, look, literally my first KPI was consistently. Am I publishing every single day? Without publishing, there's nothing that comes like, if you don't publish, there's nothing that you can measure, right? So then what happens?
And if you don't publish consistently, those KPIs are not gonna
absolutely
work. Yeah, they're not gonna work.
So we're like, okay, you know, my first measure was like, am I posting every single day? Sweet. Yes, I've survived a week. I did a second week. I'm thriving my third week.
Talking about consistency, you know, I'm just going to throw this a little shout out to ourselves because we weren't going to do today's episode and we were like, let's do it. So guys, we're here for you.
I'm going to actually let the people applaud.
We're here to shine a light in your journey.
Let's go. So, you know, after that, it was like, okay, what is the KPIs that you start measuring? Well, I started measuring conversations because it was the first thing that started to move. As soon as we started creating content and consistently and be out there, people started reaching out because we had a call to action, because we were connecting the stories, the message to our offer, right? And people were like, raising their hands. I'm interested. Can I find out a little bit more? So then we started tracking those conversations. And guess what? After that, we started tracking wins. It was like no engagement, no numbers. It doesn't matter. Like, what are we winning? Like, what's the win? And the win can be like, man, I finished my 10th day. Man, I established this connection with this many people. Hey, I got invited to a different show. Hey, I got seen by X, Y, and Z, right? And that kept just going. After that, once you start building that habit, once you start seeing those results, right? Then you can start creating a little bit more. And then you can start creating frameworks like we do now. The full show that you guys listen and see live every single day it has a full framework right now. But at first, it started just like the Facebook Live. But and then we start adding pieces, and then the technical works, and then the staff comes in, and then different things happen. But without the consistency, that would never happen.
That's right. So we're getting close here to the end.
Woo.
But before that,
go.
we actually asked Sean,
yes,
what are your thoughts about content, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's all about sales.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are your thoughts about it? And he's like, you know what? Everybody should publish every single day of the week. And when we asked him why, he said, publishing should be number one because it gets you over the fear of public speaking, which, just so you know, is one of the biggest fears out there, even like higher than death, I think it is for some people. I heard that from someone else. Don't throw some shade at me. But he said, you get over the fear of public speaking. You learn the message. You understand the message they want to hear to then be able to turn around and have a kick-ass sales conversations on the back end. And I love that. I love how the way he put it, because it is so
His
true.
words, not ours. Just saying.
His words, not ours, but we will definitely be using them
absolutely.
from here on, guys. We've always said it, right? Like that. We've said the fact that publishing has definitely get us outside of our shell, right? It has helped us with, I guess, some sort of fear. I do feel personally that it has helped me with some fear. I don't know about you.
I could talk to like anything, but that's, yes, absolutely.
But also, right, it has helped us nail down our message for sure. Because when we started 45 Live, we weren't 100% clear.
I think for me that was the big one, right? Because you know, FONZI, yes, like he's mentioned like his personal growth, and I think we both have. But you also do the fear thing, because even in the 45 Live, you were like, man, like, how do I have to do this video today? Like, blah, blah, blah. Right?
Guys, please. You know how it goes.
But I was like, man, you know, my wife screaming in the other room, like, shut up. And so whatever. Like, for me, that was not a big issue. The big issue was the message side of things, because I was heck confused. I was like, man, what are we selling? Like, what are we doing? And it was like that for a long time, because I had no validation from either the audience or my clients or the people that were trying to talk, because they were not the right clients. So what happens is, like, through the publishing, like, we didn't have it figured out. through the publishing, we started to figure that one out. We started to throw messages out there, and then we saw responses from the audience or responses from people that reached out to us like, man, that was so good. Oh man, okay, write it down. Like, that is so good. You know, like LUISDA is really good at jokes. Okay, sweet. LUISDA will continue to say jokes. But, you know, jokes aside, yeah, I mean, they'll be like, man, like what the story that you talked about, you know, with 45 Live, it resonates with me because I've been trying to publish for a long time. Okay, sweet. That means that we should be telling more stories about 45 Live, more success stories about people doing it.
Yep.
We should be teaching people how to do it. That's why we have the minimal viable content cheat sheet. So if you're listening, go to contentsprofit.com, you get it for free. So those are things that come out, and then with your message, with you the repetitive action of spreading your message, then you get idea for products, then you get ideas for more content, then you can answer questions, you can build rapport, you can build relationship. I mean, the benefits are
and that's, you know, I think there's a little difference here where it says you learned your message, right? That's that part of the 45 Live that you're talking about. And then it says you understand the message they want to hear. I think there's a little bit of difference in there, right? Because I think it's key learning how to communicate that promise, right? That how to communicate that one problem that you're solving for your prospects is so important. And you're going to get active feedback when you start publishing. You're going to get comments, you're going to get people sending you messages, and you're going to start establishing conversations, and you're going to be like, like you just said, like this resonates with them. Let me tell that story more, right? Again, why do we share the 45 Live story so much? Is because we have seen the reaction, you guys. We've seen how people actually like, wow, that is absolutely amazing. And we have seen people that have tried it and they've have gotten amazing results. So we're like, guess what? Now that is part of our brand. Literally, we are going to preach 45 Live till the day we die.
By the way, we have received some comments. Some people are like, man, you guys should have something with 45 Live. And if you agree with that, let us know in the comments. Like, that will be massive help.
Or slide in the DMs.
Just slide in the DMs. Let us know, hey, I would like to learn more about 45 Live. What is the structure? Where's the thing? Like, what is the process that you guys followed to continue and crush the 45 Live? And I'm gonna give you an example. This person like had no idea. Like, well, that person was in a corporate job, had no idea where to go from there. Was not happy. He had a message that he felt that he wanted to share. He wanted the full platform, but you know, without the consistency, you cannot have a full publishing platform. So we're like, hey, do the 45 Live. Through the first 45 days, he figured out his message. He figured out his dream client. He figured out, you know, what he wanted to say. He actually figured out a product with the current audience that he had in his private profiles. He actually sold that product and then basically shaped the 45 Live to be a full-on podcast show. Yeah, that's right.
Let's go.
Full-on, again? Dude, poor people, you're shutting them up. There we go. Okay, let's get there we go. And now he has a full-time show, you know, 30 episodes, connecting with CEOs all over the place. He's a coach. So amazing, right? And that's what that exercise allows you to do. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more, there's no product behind it. We're just literally looking for feedback. What can we do there? Is there something that we can do to help you through your publishing journey?
That is right. Thank you so much for sharing the story. Wow. So kind of
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
exclusive.
Guys, hey. And with that, we are going to transition to the end.
Oh, okay. Because we have a soccer game, by the way.
Yeah, we have a soccer game later today. Let's go. we actually, the real reason we hopped in here and did the podcast was because we needed to get pumped up for the game. We were a little sleepy.
Well, you were. So
I'm kidding.
I got coffee. I got coffee.
Honestly, I was so excited to share this message.
Yeah, it was good. I think it deserves like another episode
because
soon.
I think people forget the connection between content and sales. And sales are the life of the business. Like, if you don't sell anything, your business is
inexistent. I will even go and say, without publishing, there's no sales, baby.
Indeed.
Like good sales. Like people that stick with you for like sales. 9 sales. Frictionless sales. Like, yes.
No, I agree, obviously, 120%. And that's it. That's what we're trying to help you realize today, is that content and sales They're the best couple in the world,
Yum,
right?
yum.
They are, meant to be with each other. If you are selling something, you better put yourself out there and start creating content. And if you're already creating content, good for you. Put your hand up in the air, pat yourself on the back. We learned that from Happy Feet. Let's go. So a little action point that Sean left us with last time. He called it building greatness. It's actually a morning routine that he does.
Yeah.
So I actually tweaked it a little bit, right? Because the way he does it, I mean, he's been doing this for decades selling. So we are tweaking it to, capacity. What can we do? So
Back to the publishing frameworks, the publishing pyramid framework. So if you guys don't know, let us know. We'll send it to you. Awesome. Capacity. Very
that's
important.
right.
Okay.
So
Go, Fonzie. Go.
find 3 people that you think that are your perfect match to work together, right? Again, you should have your dream client. You should know who they are.
If you like beer, the person that you would like to go drink a beer with. If you like coffee,
Yeah.
the person you like to drink coffee with. If you like kombucha, like Fonzie, the person that you like to drink kombucha with.
That's right. So you are going to have, if you're doing it yourself, right, you're going to have to do the prospecting yourself. If you have a VA, right, you can tell the VA, hey, this is a person that is my dream client. Every morning, I want a list of 3 of these people sitting on my email or sitting on my desk, whatever you guys use, like send me an owl, Harry Potter style. It doesn't matter.
With Fonzie, is like the hammock. Like a list on the hammock.
Yeah, I need it in my hammock. But you're gonna get those 3 people, and you're going to reach out to all those 3 people, right? You're gonna send them a message. Sean recommends sending this message. Hey, my name is Fonzie, or your name in that case. I'm reaching out because we might be a good fit to work together. I'd like to strike up a conversation, and I wonder if you struggle with this one thing that I can solve, right? We personally, I mean, I love that has been tested by Sean, of course. I love using the AIDA framework. If you don't know it, AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action, right? So I just craft a message using those 4, and I send it to them, and you start creating a conversation with these people.
That's right.
But make it a daily practice. The other part of the action point is create content daily, right? Again, what is your minimum viable content? So once you're mixing these 2, minimum viable content, you are out there consistently and you are creating conversations in a consistent basis. Now you have a formula for success.
Frictionless sell, baby.
Let's go. Dude, it sounds like we had like a Red Bull before this episode.
What you did?
I did not.
Bro, you didn't bring me a Red Bull?
No. Wow. I think that's it, guys. That's it for today.
Yeah.
We know this episode was a little crazy, a little bit
different.
For sure.
It's okay. We need to stay consistent, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for being our accountability people, because I'm gonna say this.
Say it.
I am not proud of this.
Oh,
Fonzie was like, bro, we have no guests.
Yeah.
Are we actually going to do a show today? And I was like, man, I have so much work to do, which has been insane the last 3 weeks. Thank you so much for everybody jumping on Content Momentum. We're very, very proud. But at the same time, it's a lot of work. And I'm like, you do it.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you my thought process. But first, I want to highlight how, if you're looking right now, this hair right here in my beard is driving me crazy. Oh, it's like, oh.
But that's why I'm not proud of it. But then thinking back on the audience, on the consistency, on the conversation that I had this morning, and then Fonzie being like, dude, let's go, let's do it.
So this is what happened when you told me that. When he told me that, I was like, okay, like I'll just go outside and do this conversation that we're having right now by myself, and I'll just publish it as a bonus episode. So I go outside and I started doing my walk, right? And I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, I felt like I didn't want to do it as well, right? And again, I'm not proud of that. But we all have those days. And I was like, wait, how can I get my brother to do it? So, I was like, if he's on board, I'm sure like we'll feed off each other energy and like we'll go ahead and do it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go into the office and start setting up, like not saying anything, not telling him like, hey, let's do the episode real quick. I'm just gonna set up and pretend that I'm gonna do it all by myself. I mean, if it didn't come on, I was gonna do it all by myself. But I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And I came into the office. I started setting up, and success, guys.
Success. We made it, guys.
My brother got up and he's like, okay, I'll do it. That's fine.
Lesson there. Have your accountability, not only partner, but also the audience. Guys, a huge shout out to our live audience today. Jim, Jen, RJ, man. Oh, this is so awesome having you guys are here. Wow, Fonzie.
Yeah, I'm sorry, RJ.
Clearly, these glasses don't work. Okay.
The glasses are just for the blue light.
RJ, he's not a Barca fan, so that's why. Yeah, and you get me. Why. You get me. So, guys, I think that's it. I mean, lesson learned.
Lesson learned
with sales, perfect marriage.
Yeah, go marry your content with your sales.
Ooh, baby. And if
go
you need,
crush it.
And if you need help with that, let us know. We can help you through the publishing pyramid, through the minimum viable content, through 45 Live and Content Momentum. It's our big baby. So
that's right. And if you are looking for some very incredible actionable tips on sales, right, when having that sales conversation, go and revisit episode 83, if I'm not mistaken, but I know it is the episode with Sean.
I feel like by now we should have checked that.
Yeah, by now we should have checked that. But it's fine. It's the episode with Sean Malone. Absolutely epic. So, yeah.
All right. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Content Profit Podcast. Go ahead and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button and follow us on social media at BIZBROS Co.
And if you find this episode impactful, please don't forget to share it and leave a 5-star review. Let's go.
Bye, guys.
Hey, we're still live on Facebook. What is up, Facebook?
Fonzie said something in Spanish I don't want to even share with you guys.
Yeah, nah, I just said that we had.
I know, it's so good. You can just like fade it on post.
So, what's up, people? Today was a very different episode. We rambled a little bit. We were all over the place.
You think?
Yes, I do think we were a little bit over the place, but
been a long
it's
day.
Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
Thank you so much for keeping us accountable. You know, that's the most important part. We really appreciate you guys. It's been fun sharing the whole journey. So with that being said, guys, we don't have anybody to take a selfie with today. I mean, all of you on that other side.
We'll just pretend that we're not a selfie together. 1, 2, 3. If you have questions, guys, drop in the comments. I'm not sure. Do we have questions coming in?
I don't know. We have 3 people watching right now.
Let us know. #live.
Who's watching? Who's watching? Put your name in the comments right now. Put your names in the comments.
Be nice. Today you've been so aggressive. You've been so aggressive towards the audience today. What's happening? See, somebody left.
Somebody left.
It's all good. It's all good. Guys, I apologize in the name of Fonzie. We have a soccer game that we got to go to because I got to walk the puppies. I got to walk the dogs. If not, you won't see me tomorrow. So, we're good?
We're good.
Okay, you control this. You are the master of the content today.
I'm waiting to see if we had a comment here, but we didn't. So, everybody, we will see you on Friday with episode 99. Hey.
Hey.
See ya.